Global Social Innovators Forum aims to influence you to rethink your mindset, attitude and approach in making the world more inclusive and sustainable. It's a signature event organized annually by the Social Innovation Park, Singapore's first non-profit organization to champion social enterprise and social innovation since 2006. Now, the forum and festival, it's actually two components. We've got the GSI, the Global Social Innovation Forum, from 7th to 8th November at the Star Vista, Singapore, and the GSI Festival, the Global Social Innovators Festival, from the 9th to the 10th of November at various locations in Singapore. We're going to be telling you this morning how you can get involved as business people or simply as a member of the Singapore community. Joining me today are Leah Tan. She is VP of Institutional Banking, the Institutional Banking Group at DBS. She's been involved with GSIF 2012 and other social enterprise activities over the years as well. Roger Wang is Managing Director of Essential Werkz, which is the official event agency. He too has engaged in social enterprise and charity movements over the years. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Hi, very good morning.
Now, first of all, the Global Social Innovators Forum, IC, aims to influence people to rethink their mindsets, their attitudes, their approach in making the world more inclusive and sustainable. That's what the material I've got says. But let's talk about some specifics here. What exactly are you trying to get people to think differently about? Let's start with you, Roger.
All right. Well, the theme for this year is centered around inclusive innovation, in that the focus will be on trusted leadership, business and society. So, well, as trust is the very fundamental of human values, it actually underlies all relationship within the society itself. So therefore, some of the recent outcoming, like the Arab Springs and even the Snowden saga, trust has diminished to a certain extent. So we find that this year the theme it's revolved around building trust within the three sectors, namely the public, the people, and the private sectors.
Okay, now the fact is that you mentioned a few examples that happened overseas, Snowden, so on and so forth. Locally, though, what context are we really talking about when it comes to trust issues?
We are actually addressing the fundamentals of our society. Our society network. Without trust, in fact, a lot of organizations will suffer to a certain extent in terms of monetary, in terms of time and effort spent in building this trust. So therefore, it couldn't have been more timely at this time, where we as Singaporeans will need to address the issues more in depth. And this platform, this forum, allows us to explore possibilities and ways that we can actually measure trust to a certain level. All right. So we certainly hope that we have more of you to come for our forum, and during this forum itself is where you will be able to find out more on how we can actually address in depth on trusted issues.
Well, when talking about trust, immediately I think of, in the micro environment, how employers sometimes don't trust their employees, even when it comes to, say, taking leave or having flexi work arrangements and things like that. So it's in every facet of our life, so to speak. Some people face trust issues on a daily basis at work. Leah, perhaps you could jump in here. What would you say is the main thrust of all of this? Because it goes even beyond trust. We're talking here about social entrepreneurship and innovation as well.
Okay, for the bank, we actually have been very conscious and committed in giving back to this community we operate our businesses in. In fact, in 2010, we have already adopted social entrepreneurship as our bank corporate CSR program. It's bank-wide across our 6 regional markets, because we believe that social enterprises offer sustainable solutions to some of the issues in our communities. And one particular model of social enterprises which we think is very relevant is that it employs the underprivileged in the society, train them, impart them skills, and employ them to work in their organizations. So by so doing, you actually give them a source of revenue, you bring them back to the regular society, and as well as you give them a sense of dignity. So the bank, what we can do is to offer banking solutions at a discounted prizes and some even for free. We call it our social enterprise banking package. So many social enterprises actually benefited from this package. But we also understand that to further promote the development of the social entrepreneurship, we need to partner key players in the SE ecosystem. We cannot work alone by ourselves. So that's where we feel that Social Innovation Park, SIP, is a pioneer and key player in this space, and they promote global social entrepreneurship. And we actually have been a corporate sponsor for GSIF, the forum, since 2007. Our involvement is beyond just the wallet sponsorship. In the past, we have also been involved in our other ways, such as we have developed a very simple financial toolkit for the social enterprises who are startup. So this
Here's the thing, though. I mean, the fact that you speak of a financial toolkit, so on and so forth, I think we have to debunk the myth or the perception that social enterprises tend not to be very profitable. Profit is a thrust as well, isn't it? Is a major focus as well. Not only do you have to have great business practices and do all of those things that social enterprises are expected to do, for instance, give the underprivileged a chance to make some money, make a living, you also have to deliver on the profit aspect of it, don't you? Perhaps, Roger, you could jump in here.
Okay, well, there's certainly many ways in terms of measuring profit. It doesn't have to come in terms of monetary value. It can come in as a form of gaining acceptance by the society from the organizational part. So, to me, at least for our organization, we find that by giving back to the society, you are able to gain more acceptance by them. So in this way, we build trust. So once trust is being built, then there are many things that we can do in terms of channeling our messages to them in a more direct manner. So so to us, I think being trusted organization is the utmost important in our current climate right now.
How do you hope to bring all of this about? Because we can sit here and talk about trust issues and social enterprises and how they can be helped all day. But what about action? How do you hope to get people in the community thinking about these things and actually doing something about them? Leah?
Okay, I think this probably based on my past experience of attending GSIF. I've been attending GSIF since 2008. And so far, I feel that SIP is very good in selecting the topic, and it's obvious that the trust topic is the hot topic. And in the past, topics like inclusiveness, sustainability are very, very key topics that are close to the hearts of the people. So I think the topics itself will draw the crowd. And secondly, that very important to me is that they are very good in getting very top-notch speakers. The speakers from the past is like including Hollywood stars. Jet Li was there in 2008, and then you have a CEO of large corporates and very accomplished professionals in academic fields and varied fields.
Okay, so how does all of this actually prompt action on the ground?
Okay, I think in terms of the format, right, there is of course the high-level plenary discussion by the top minds, and after that there will be opportunities in terms of breakup groups. That's where the real exchange of ideas and passion takes place, because when I talk to the participants and the delegates, right, they're all very passionate about wanting to do their fair bit to build a better society. And
what sort of impact have you seen in the past from previous festivals and forums?
Okay,
real impact on the ground.
Okay, what I see has happened is partnership and collaborations. Because when you go to a forum like that, you meet new people, new faces, and new ideas. And when a few people get together to say that, oh, I have this that you do not have, but you need this, and we have an exchange, like a barter trade, but we do it in a way that is not really for ourselves, but for a common cause. So that's where we bring ourselves together. There's alignment, and there's real partnership that happens. So out of this forum, we actually have, as a bank, we do have a little bit of connections in terms of our big base of customer. So there are certain things that we can influence our customer to do for the less fortunate companies.
Give me some examples, some specific examples of what specific change you've actually seen happen on the ground as a result of all these discussions.
Okay, I probably might not be able to mention the specific names,
Sure, no problem.
But a simple example is F&B want to look for a space in popular malls near MRT, crowded places and all this thing, and of course it's difficult for SME to have access to certain things, and then for us we do know of customers who operate malls, for example, and we connect them. We ask for permission. Will you be willing and able to help this F&B boss? And the answer is yes. We are very happy that they are very willing, and then we bring them out together. And actually they managed to locate a good space, and the restaurant is open.
Right. A social enterprise?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So certainly social enterprises might need a little bit of help at the beginning especially. And the plan, of course, is to get them in part to stand on their own 2 feet. Stay with us on 938 Live. We'll be finding out more about how you can get involved as an individual and as a business person in the Global Social Innovators Forum and Festival. Stay with us on 938 Live. Talking today about how one forum, the Global Social Innovators Forum, can influence you to rethink your mindset, your attitude, and approach. It's all about making the world a more inclusive and sustainable place. And it's not just for businesses. Really, anyone can go if you just want your entrenched beliefs totally moved out of kilter. For the better, okay? For the better. If you really want to think out of the box and do better for your community and your business. Now, the Global Social Innovators Forum is happening from the 7th to the 8th of November, and the Global Social Innovators Festival right after that from the 9th to the 10th of November. I'm talking this morning with Leah Tan, VP of the Institutional Banking Group at Local Bank, DBS, and Roger Wang, Managing Director of Essential Werkz, which is the official event agency. Both of them have been engaged in social enterprise and charity movements over the years. Now, guys, tell me more about how the individual can get involved here. Leah, perhaps you could expand on that.
Okay, for us, we actually talk a lot about social enterprises, social entrepreneurship at the bank. So firstly, we want to tell our own folks, our own staff, there's this thing that's happening. So in the past, we have been able to get our colleagues to join us at the forum. We also tell our customers, because that's where we understand the dollar from the corporates will come in to help the
social enterprises.
That's correct.
Right, right. And members of the public, how can they get involved, Roger?
Well,
the general public.
The general public. They can always look up on either Google GSIF 2013, or they can log on to socialinnovatorsforum.org. So this
what benefit is there to the individual?
Oh, well, as an individual, I guess it offers a platform for you to voice your views. In this year in particular is on trust itself. And
are you just looking at it from the business context, or are we talking about it in the wider community context as well?
I think for us, we should we can be looking at a three-prong, both on a business community and from a personal perspective. It's from a personal perspective that we are able to drive up to a more macro level on an organizational platform. So in any case, trust can be built on all levels, starting from personal levels right up to business and right up to even at the higher level that is within the community. So this is where it can be addressed on this year's theme, as in trusted leadership in business and society.
How do you convert the unconverted, though? Because I can imagine that people who voluntarily sign up for this are already open to thinking differently, to running their businesses differently, their lives differently as well. What about the people who are closed off? Because I have spoken to some business people who head companies and SMEs who really seem to have serious trust issues and don't mind if these trust issues continue to be perpetuated. For instance, recently when I spoke to our listeners about possibly giving their employees elder care leave, for instance, a lot of them called in to say that I don't trust my employees. I think they will abuse the system. So how do you reach out to people like that who have issues already that are deeply entrenched?
Okay, this is where I think if you were to come in for the forum itself, we have established agencies that actually have come up with certain research methodologies and certain quotients. Just to mention one or two, Edelman being one of them, that they have bring forward a 13 years of trust barometer research. So they'll be able to provide some insights on this trust issue. McKinsey.
Do you have any insights yourself at this point? Do you know the results that are notable that people can use as a barometer for their own actions?
There'll be a series of questions that you'll be put through, and from there there'll be a results being delivered on your trust barometers. So this can be quite individual. So my suggestions would be to come for the forum, find out for yourself more. And on top of that, the other agencies, which is McKinsey, will be bringing forward their decades of trust quotient expertise. So come to this forum, join us, and you'll be able to find out more. And at the same time, voice out your view on certain issues that you have on trust. Share it with the attendants and some of the experts on the issues. So I believe by doing so you'll be able to gain more insights.
There seems to be a bit of a focus on creativity as well. For instance, when I first started off the show, I gave this example that I actually got from some of the material surrounding the GSIForum. Instead of focusing on how impossible it might be for visually impaired people to work in jobs that require that visual acuity, why not create opportunities that allow them to tap on other strengths, such as their keen sense of smell, taste, hearing. They can do so many other things, be audio engineers, food tasters, even though they are visually impaired. So how do you hope to actually get people to think creatively about such issues too, Leah, at the forum?
Okay, I think one way is to showcase some of the business models used by the social enterprises. I mean, if we patronize F&B, which we all do, you can tell that some organizations like Cafe Professor Braun or things like that, or Indian chefs, they actually employ autistic kids for Professor Braun. They train them and then they serve as waiter. And I personally patronize that a few times. I brought my kids, and I also tell my kids who are these big brothers, big sisters, and how are they different from us, and how are we going to make a difference to them. So that is at the personal level of impartation. At the forum, when you showcase your business ideas, the work integration model especially is very tangible for people to understand.
Right. You mentioned a key point. You talk to your kids about these things.
That's correct.
You've got to start young, don't you? Is there room at the forum and festival for younger people to get involved as well? Roger?
Yes, there certainly are. In fact, this forum is open to everyone and anyone. So from teens right up to adults, and right up to the matured adults itself. So certainly we would like to see more of you attending this forum and find out more for yourself.
Okay, here's where you can go and find out more and sign up if you want to. Go to socialinnovatorsforum.org, socialinnovatorsforum.org. Many thanks to Leah Tan from DBS and Roger Wang, Managing Director of Essential Werkz, both of them deeply involved in the Global Social Innovators Forum and Festival happening in November from the 7th to the 10th. Thanks for staying with us.